Hi, do you need to pass your STAAR test? Well, you came to the right place. Today, we're going to focus on simplifying polynomials. Let's get into a couple examples. All right, so it says which expression is equivalent. Anytime I see that word equivalent, that means that they need to be the same. So I'm going to go ahead and box the word equivalent, and that means we're looking for the same exact equation. For this example, because I have answer choices, I'm going to use my answer choices to help me out. We need to use what we call the distributive property. So think about it as if your mom came home with some pizza, and it's you, your brothers, sisters, your cousins, whoever it is at home. Distributing, that means everyone gets the same amount of pizza or whatever it is that she's giving to you guys. So we're going to do the same thing here in math. So first, we're going to start by multiplying that first term by the first term. Okay, so 6 times 6, that makes 24. Okay, so I have a G and I have an H. So G and H are going to stay there. That looks good. All right, let's look at the next one. 12 times 2, that is also 24. They also have a G and an H, so that one also looks good. The second one, 6 times 4, still 24. And they too have a G and an H. And then the last one, 12 times 2 is still 24. And they both have a G and a H. So we're going to put a check mark. All of them have that one so far. Let's look at the next one. All right, so now we're going to do 6 times negative. So I know a positive and a negative make negative. 6 times 12, well, that's not going to be 12, but it is 72. And that's a G squared. So we can go ahead and eliminate answer choice A simply because that is not a negative 12 that we have. Let's look at the next one. Negative 12 times positive 12 is negative 144. And that makes that a G squared. That is not a 12. So we know it's not B. 6 times negative 2 makes negative 12. This is 2. Because we have two G's, that's why it makes G squared. We got two G's together. Okay, so then we have 12 times negative G, which is like 1, so that's still a negative 12. And that's G squared. Okay, because it has two G's. All right, so we're down to two answer choices that we got to figure out is correct. The last one we're looking for a positive 16, a positive 18, sorry. Okay, so 6 times 3 is 18. And it has a G. So we need to keep that G. Perfect. And then last but not least, we have 12 times 3, which is, you're right, 36. And that's not an 18. So our final answer here is answer choice C. This was one of those questions we could not use decimals simply because we have two different variables. So we had to use our process of elimination to answer this problem. All right, let's look at this last example. With this example, because we have one variable, we can use Desmos, and I want to show you that strategy for testing purposes. All right, so let's go ahead and head over to Desmos. So it's super important at this point that you make sure that your Desmos says Desmos, Texas, Star, or whatever state that you live in. It should be green. That's super important. Why? Because there's features on there that are not going to be on the other Desmos for your test. So let's make sure we do that. Again, that word equivalent, let's go ahead and box it. I know I'm looking for the same. And so instead of using an N, I'm just going to use an X. So let's type our first equation. We got x minus 4 times 2x plus 7. Again, I'm just using my x's instead of n's. All right, so we have this beautiful quadratic. We're trying to see which expression is equal to it. Because we have one term here, that's more than likely not going to be the correct answer, but we're going to type it in. So we know that our equations always start with y equals 2, so we got 3x plus 3 Nope, that is a linear equation. That is not answer choice F, so let's eliminate F. Let's look at answer choice G. We got x minus 28, which is also, if I zoom out here, I see that blue line. It is a linear graph as well, so we know it's not G. All right, so let's look at the next one. We got 2x squared minus 15x minus 28. Those do not overlap, so they are also not the same. So we're looking for something to overlap to be the same. So then our last answer code choice is 2x squared minus x minus 28. And as you can see, they're overlapping because they are equivalent or the same. Okay, so I showed you a Desmos and a non-Desmos example. I hope to see you guys next time. I know you'll pass that test.